you want to try to minimize processed food, because processed food is not good for you. It's going to probably turn into sugar at the end of the day, and then you're still probably going to be hungry because there's no nutrients in it. So try to avoid processed foods like at all costs, all right? And that includes chips and those little power bars and all of that, all right? I have been gone for a few days, okay? I had a jam-packed last 3 weeks. I went to the Black Girl Health Fair. I went to do the mud run, and this past weekend, I went to Podcast Summit, okay? Shout out to David Shands and Donnie Wiggins and all of the other people who were there. But anyway, I'm back and better than ever, and we are about to embark on episode 6 on the Self-Care Revolution podcast, all right? Now, if this is your first time here, this podcast is dedicated to women over 40 who have a hard time maintaining a consistent self-care routine, right? You cannot forget yourself, in your routine. But what is self-care? Okay, a lot of times people think self-care is, I'm gonna go get my nails done. I gotta sit here and binge watch this movie and eat a whole pack of Cheez-Its. No, that is not what self-care is. When we say engage in self-care daily, we are talking about mentally, physically, and emotionally. If you're not engaging in self-care mentally, emotionally, or physically, I want to know why. Please get in the comments below and let me know, why aren't you engaging in that? Others that are engaging in consistent self-care, do you have a morning routine? Do you, are you reading any specific books? Like, drop in the comments below and let us know what your consistent self-care routine is, all right? Help somebody out. Somebody might read that and then they get an idea to start that practice themselves. So definitely encourage you to do that. Now, in talking about self-care, since I had like a jam-packed back-to-back 3 weeks, all right, my schedule has been kind of wonky, and since I ended it with a portion of travel, everybody knows that when you travel, your regular routine is thrown all the way off. Your habits are tested. I don't care who you are, because you may not have access to all the things you have access at home, right? You can plan, but sometimes you need to make adjustments, all right? And so traveling can upset your gut. It can do all kinds of things. You got new time zones, you got new schedules, you got different foods, and you got maybe have some foods that you want to try just because it's there, all right? So I'm going to give you some tips on how to bounce back after you've been traveling and upset your routine and get back to normal. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about in this episode of the Self-Care Revolution. We get in the day before the event starts and we leave the day after the event is over. It's only a 2-day event, okay? But the 2 days that the event is, it is an all-day event, all right? There's session after session. You do get a lunch break. And then obviously you get to go eat dinner wherever you're going to eat dinner. But I saw a lot of people making choices like having chips in there and, candy and things like that. And sometimes you just make different choices when you are traveling. You can easily get some stomach issues when you're traveling, all right? And whether or not it's for fun or for work or whatever, traveling is stressful on your mind and body, and sometimes it can cause gut issues, all right? So the tips I want to give today are specifically so that you can minimize those gut issues, all right? Because that's the last thing you want to have happen while you're out of town trying to enjoy yourself or trying to learn or whatever it is you're trying to do, all right? So these tips are going to kind of be focused on that. You may not have your regular healthy diet available. You may, be eating out more often, obviously, because you won't have access to a kitchen. And you may have to eat some processed foods. Well, you don't have to eat them, but they're going to be available, and it all depends on what kind of mind frame you're in that day, okay? But if that happens, we're going to talk about what you need to be focused on and what you need to try to do while you're there. Number one is do not overeat. You're in a new place with different food options. Everybody's always trying to go eat and drink at some point, so do not overeat, okay? That is the one thing you want to do. Keep track that you're having a regular amount of meal. Number 2 is eat plenty of fiber. So fruits, vegetables, stuff with beans in it, stuff with nuts in it, and things like that. Choose to eat extra fiber, all right? Because we got to keep stuff moving so that you don't get constipated, all right? We don't want that. So Make sure you get some fruit and vegetables in there. You want to try to minimize processed food because processed food is not good for you. It's going to probably turn into sugar at the end of the day, and then you're still probably going to be hungry because there's no nutrients in it. So try to avoid processed foods like at all costs, all right? And that includes chips and those little power bars and all of that, all right? Try to stick to whole foods if you can. Not the store, but, food that is closest to its original state as possible. Now, these last two are very important, all right? I want to say that they're the most important, all right? Number one is stay hydrated, all right? You have to stay hydrated. Like I said, the water is going to work along with the fiber as well, and it's going to keep things moving. And if you hydrate it, you're gonna feel a lot better, all right? And then this last one, it might be number one. All right, wash your hands, all right, because you're touching all these elevator buttons that everybody's touching. You're touching these railings that everybody's touching. Everybody's touching everything. So wash your hands, especially before you eat something, all right? So those are the tips that I feel like you should put into place while you're traveling because it's so much excitement. You're having fun. People want to go out for drinks. Okay, you want to go out for dinner. Okay, but I recommend, if you don't remember anything else, remember to drink your water and eat a salad every day. That's all I can say, all right? I would say fruit in the morning and salad at night, but do it however you want to do it. I just recommend make sure you stay hydrated and eat some veggies every day, all right? You work that out. But and then when you come back home, getting back into your routine is the quicker you do it, the better, all right? Do not prolong it. Bring your clothes in and unpack the day that you get back. Do not let your shit sit there, all right? Unpack immediately. But the first thing that you should do is rest and hydrate. Now, you should have been staying hydrated while you were on the trip. However, we're going to start with rest and hydration as soon as we get back. So you can ease back into your routine and reestablish your healthy habits that you had before you went on this trip. It's Sunday for me, so I set my goals for the week. I looked at what I have to do this week, and I set my goals for the week. So then I recommend that you plan your meals for the week. Now, I'm not sure if you're a meal prepper. I don't meal prep as far as putting it in each container, but I plan on the type of meal that I'm gonna cook, right? I get stuff that can serve me for a couple of different kinds of meals, and then I go from there. So what I got this week is I got me a rotisserie chicken, and I got some salmon, I got some lettuce and fixings for a salad, and then I also got some other kinds of veggies so that I can make some grain bowls, and then I may be able to make some salads and stuff like that so I can mix and match. But I did not prep anything. I just made I did not prep anything, but I did get things to kind of go together. So I already have a plan to eat salads and grain bowls, and I got lots of fruit. My fruit this week so every week I try to get 2 to 3 fruits, but this time I got 4. I got some grapes, I got a watermelon, I got some mango, and I got some bananas, all right? Because if you are a person that used to have a sweet tooth, or you do struggle with a sweet tooth, or you want something sweet sometimes, I recommend to have fruit in the house for you to go and eat instead of anything like a sugary snack, because at the end of the day, most illnesses that people end up with, it boils down to too much sugar and it breaks down our cells, okay? So we want to try to stay away from added sugar as best we can, all right? It is in everything, and I heard that they're going to be taking the labels. I heard that they're going to be removing labels from some packaging, so we won't even know what the ingredients are because they're no longer required to show us the ingredients. But I got to look more into that, and we'll do another episode once I'm able to go, to go do some research on that. But at the end of the day, right, I want you guys to make sure that you're being intentional about what you're putting in your body. Make good choices, right? You can only worry about what you're doing right now. Don't worry about if you mess up. If you mess up, you still can try again the next meal. So don't beat yourself up, but definitely try to make good choices, all right? Be aware of what you're putting in your body. Now, if you're a woman over 40 and you need help incorporating consistent self-care practices, maybe you need a morning routine, maybe you need to work on some limiting beliefs, I have a Facebook group called Transform Your Habits. So definitely come and see us in that group if that sounds like something that you're interested in, because you will be in a community of like-minded women who are all trying to transform their habits as we age gracefully, okay? So if you found this episode helpful, make sure you share it with a friend who might need to hear this, and get in the comments below and let me know what you think. Feel free to share your morning routine. Feel free to ask any questions, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.